Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Imagine That with Robin Richie podcast. I am your host, Robin Richie, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you into my world. And wherever you are, before we begin, wherever you are in the world, I would love for each and every one of you viewing to give yourselves a warm round of applause. Thank you once again for joining me for tonight's very, very special broadcast. And without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the world-renowned, legendary, none other than the Ladies of SKYY. Hi, ladies. How are you? Please unmute your mics. How are you, ladies? You
We're
look
good.
Absolutely wonderful, darling.
Here with you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to have you here. I'm so used to saying in the studio, right? Live and in living color, It's beautiful to see your beautiful faces. And once again, welcome to the Imagine That with Robin Richie podcast. And we're families. So this isn't the first time, ladies and gentlemen.
Not at all.
That is correct. We've been doing this a long time, Robin.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it gives me such joy to talk about why you're here tonight, because it's a very, very special occasion. But before I do, I would love to introduce each of you to our viewing audience. And we're going to begin with the birthday girl, none other than Benita Bonnie Williams.
Hi, Robin. Hi, Robin.
Hi, darling, and happy, happy, happy birthday to you.
Look, I almost forgot it was my birthday.
I know you've been very busy, I'm sure.
Extremely busy, and I just happened to, I start my morning like really early, especially now with everything that's going on. And I just happened to go on Facebook, and I was like, oh, it's my birthday, But I woke up, and so I was happy just about that, But when you get a little older, your memory starts to, that's the first thing that, kind of goes.
No, you know what it is? You're in popular demand. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. She's being humble, okay? There's so many, many things and we have so many exciting things to share with you tonight. And part of that, it's all in rapid succession. It's just one after the other. And that's a fabulous, fabulous thing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to introduce to you none other than, we're going in alphabetical order. None other than Denise Wilkinson.
Hello, everybody. It's I am so happy to be here with you, Robin. You can't imagine. We've seen you on your Imagine That journey for quite some time, my dear, almost from the beginning and its inception. And I'm just very proud of you for continuing to represent not only women, but ladies on, these platforms, because it's very much needed to have true ladies. And you are a class act, my dear. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. That's so very, very kind of you. And ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least, none other than Dolores Wilson. Hi, darling. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful, and it's like, it's always a pleasure to be with you. And the last time we were together, we were having so much fun. We were laughing and doing this and this and this and that. And yeah, I got married. I went from Milligan to Wilson, and this is like the most wonderful journey I'm having.
Yes, this is your debut as Wilson, Dolores Wilson.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Milligan is gone now.
I've been at Wilson for like maybe 4 weeks now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations on this new wonderful journey.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm so sorry that I still have you as Dolores
Oh no,
Milligan.
it's perfectly
So to
fine.
the hubby,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
there are some places that I'm still Milligan, and he looks at me. He says, "Huh? What?" And I was like, "Just give me a minute. It'll be okay. Just play your role. I know who I am. Everybody else will figure it out after the fact." Okay.
Yes, yes,
Love it.
yes, yes.
Lucy, sit.
You
Look,
know, I
see,
want to talk about I want to talk about Zeus very quickly for those of whom who follow you, Denise, online. Ladies and gentlemen, Denise has this beautiful, beautiful pit bull named Zeus, who
yep,
Zeus
he just
is
jumped off the
quickly.
couch.
Yes.
Zeus is, he's a little camera shy, probably
Yes,
because I
right
didn't have a
now,
title
'cause
card built for him either.
he's on his job right about now.
But he's
There
gaining a
he is.
following
Zoom.
online. See? See? He's making his
Say hi.
presence known.
Say hi.
He's making his presence known. He has a following online, which is incredible.
Yes. Well, Zeus is my inspiration. Part of what has prompted me to do more walking and more exercise is my ability to get out and get a chance to walk him. And so I make a whole experience out of it because he really enjoys it. And it also gets me out there and around that park so that I can get my 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 steps in, thanks to Zeus. So yes, he's my exercise buddy.
Yes, yes, yes. And talk about exercise. You ladies have been on a whirlwind, been around the world, and I. How does it feel after 30 years?
Well, Robert, I mean, we've been we're extremely fortunate to be able to have done this, for so many years, not just as Sky, but as Ladies of Sky as well. And so this journey has been, I think this is what really has kept us young. I mean, we're doing what we love. We're still in demand, which is, really, we still hear ourselves on the radio, which is really, it's a privilege to have spanned 3 decades, so to speak, in the music industry, and we just love it.
And
Yes.
and the world loves you.
Well, thank you. I have to say that we have had quite the enjoyable time traveling all over the country, all over the world, and having our music enjoyed by audiences across the globe. I mean, there's nothing more enjoyable and, how shall I say, satisfying than to be able to go to different places. We've been to France, we've been to Africa, both as Sky and Ladies of Sky. And it's just a joy to still be able to touch people with our music.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you say to yourself, okay, well, we were on the road with the guys, and then when Austin put us back out as Ladies of Sky, and still be able to go to the countries, some of the countries that we were at, and garnered with just Sky, to go back to Nigeria, to go to France, and to go to all these other places where people are still like thinking and loving and singing Sky as us as Ladies of Sky. It's an amazing journey.
Absolutely. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. It's interesting. One other thing that I would like to ask you ladies, is there ever a time when you feel like you need a clone? Because you have so much going on.
I always say,
Great question.
I always
idea whose time has come, Bonnie.
that I always said we needed cardboard cutouts because it's constant work, you know, but it's constant enjoyable work. And
Yeah.
I think the three of us are so fortunate that we can boom, 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 boom. And when that one person is like, okay, I can't boom anymore for right now, we pass it, we delegate it to the next, to the
Yes.
next person. And Denise will get on the phone and call me and say, "Can you do such and such?" I say, "Okay, I can do it." And then when something else comes up, then I get on the phone and I call Dolores and I said, "Can you do such and such and such?" So we're able to navigate things because we know that we can pass it off to the next sister
Yeah,
and it'll get
and
done.
sometimes what we do, it's not even before that. Sometimes when we're on stage, there's a point at which Bonnie will look at me and I look at her. Oh, Denise will look at me and I'll look at her and it was like, "Can you do this?" It's like, "Okay, get the note." And we know.
Note.
It's like, "I can't do this. Hop in."
Yeah,
And this is
exactly.
what we do.
I just want to say it's the beauty of my mother's wisdom in having
Yeah,
more than one child. I mean, really, we could have never understood the value of there being three, uh,
right,
more so than as we've gotten older. When my mother, when we used to fight when we were younger and get into stuff, she'd say, "One day, all you're going to have is each other." And after mommy passed, then we kind of looked at each other and we were like, you know what? We kind of get what she was saying,
Yeah.
right? And it has been like for me, and especially now that we've spanned so many decades together, from little girls to
right.
really big girls, it has become invaluable to all of us to have all three of us stepping together, liking each other, loving each other, because a lot of people get to a certain point and they don't like their family, and
Sure.
we're just not affected by that. And
Oh yeah.
and it
That's
makes
not
life
gonna happen.
easier for us to live life because
Right.
we look
Yeah.
out for each other. Like Bonnie, I don't know how Bonnie does it. She has two amazing granddaughters, because outside of our musical life, we have a regular
Yeah.
life.
Families, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I admire Bonnie so much because it's always something with them two little cute grands of hers. And Dolores has got the grand and the great grand. So it's just amazing. But having a clone, yeah, it's not a bad idea sometimes, Robin. Get back to your
I mean,
original
Yeah,
question.
I mean,
if we could have a Ladies of Sky person and a us person, you know what I mean? A day-to-day person and a Lady of Sky person that we could
Right.
just like wind up and have that when she's ready. You know what I mean? That would be
Kind of
amazing.
interchangeable.
yeah.
But we don't got that.
And I think what's interesting too, Robert, is like even when we are tired or mentally or whatever
Oh
exhausted,
yeah.
we can still, if we know we got a gig, if we're doing a show, we know how to put that on the back burner and be the best people that we can because
Certainly.
it doesn't take away and then that is not true because once we perform sometimes whatever else it is gone by the time we come off that stage. You know what I'm saying? So
Like
like
jump
Denise
in.
said, we were really fortunate because we had a mother who was a multitasker as
Yes.
they call it nowadays. And so I think we got that from her to be able to sit back, take a moment, and then move on with whatever it is that you have to do. But I could
Sure.
use a clone. Yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
Well, you mentioned your mom. Let's talk a little bit about your origins, the early days. Did you see yourselves doing what you do today?
Oh boy.
Wow.
You know what? We were doing something. We didn't know it was going to blossom into this, but we always were in the house singing because we grew up during I think a very rich time in musical history.
Oh yeah.
Motown was prolific. A lot of female groups were out there. that just were, great images for us, and saying great examples for us. So we didn't necessarily place ourselves into this kind of space. But even from little kids, there was always music in the house.
Yes.
We always had fun singing around the house.
Sure.
Even though we used to drive our mother crazy sometimes because she had this full-length mirror on her closet door in the hallway. And the three of us would get in front of that mirror with hairbrushes.
Cramming ourselves in.
Right. And singing like 3 different songs. And I swear, I don't really know how mommy could stand us because we would just drive her crazy. And then after a while, she'd say, all right, now, y'all got to sing one song. You know what I'm saying? So like Denise said, we always have music in the house. And what did Daddy used to do on Saturdays, Dolores?
Well, he would always, there was this favorite tune that he did. And it's by Booker T and the MGs called Green Onions. And oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was listening to that the other day in the car with my husband. And I was like, Daddy would always just like dance around with this vacuum cleaner,
and
there was
pop
something
that left hand,
right?
Pop that left finger.
Yeah.
And girl,
I love
he would
it.
be, and his pigeon toes, he would just be on it.
Yeah, he loved to dance. And
He loved to dance. He loved music. He had a lot of
he had me so into Count Basie and Duke Ellington and Arthur Price till I was losing my mind.
Yeah, he would near, like Denise said, and Doris said, we came from a household of music.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate because we came from a 2-parent home where we enjoyed each other's company because Saturday was chore day. Mm-hmm. So they would put those, our dad would put those LPs on and we just all day just be in there playing music.
And I got those records, Robin.
We never envisioned a professional career.
Right.
No.
Until way later. We were fortunate to have music. We were involved in music very heavily when we were in junior high school and high school. And so I think that's what sort of was the springboard to what ultimately became us, doing it from a more professional standpoint. But we were always exposed to it both at home and in school.
Yes.
Yeah. And different genres, which made our lives even more enriched because some people were stuck in one kind of music, but because we were in chorus in school, and because we had the different, not only R&B, but jazz and big bands at home, and the classical things at school, it brought us in different places and it broadened our horizons in terms of the kind of music that we were listening to and the kind of music that we were exposed to.
How did you become connected with the band?
Wow. So Solomon, this is one of our favorite stories, actually.
I know.
Because and we were talking about it the other day. So we had our little group together. We were babysitters for a gentleman named Stanley Burton. And Stanley was the director of the Miss Black America New York State pageant. He knew that we sang because we were always doing stuff in the community. And he said, I want you guys to sing for the pageant. So Randy Muller happened to be the musical director of the pageant. So it was 4 of us at the time. So we sang, we auditioned for Randy. And then he was like, wait a minute, hold up. They can sing. So we decided that after we did that Miss Black America New York State pageant, then we started doing background vocals for many of the artists that he was producing, which was Brass Construction, Raphael Cameron, and a whole bunch of others. So when Brass Construction got their record deal, he turns us over to this guy, Solomon. Now, Solomon was always around. He was a photographer, so we thought that was his forte, right? And come to find out, Solomon was actually a drummer and was a music writer.
Yeah.
And an all-around musician that had a band. We had no clue about this.
No clue.
We saw for what, three years or so?
Yeah.
We found out that he was actually musically inclined. So go ahead, Bonnie. You finish telling the story.
So And Solomon tells us this story. We love this story because he says at the time he was really like the roadie for Brass Construction. So when Brass Construction, when they got their record deal, Randy looked around and it was so many of us, you know, because we were opening for them until they got their deal. He says, well, we're going to turn you over, you know, I'm going to turn you over to Solomon. And we was like, the photographer? You know,
And do what?
What's he gonna do?
what is he going to do? And he was like,
I was
no.
now like, hello.
He said, no, he has a, you know, he has a band. And we were like, oh, okay. So we started performing with Solomon and his little band, you know. And then, like Charles said, he said, well, I think we kind of got something here. You know, we got the three sisters, you know, and at that time it was Solomon, Gerald, and Butch.
Yes.
And then, okay, now we need Saul, because Saul was playing drums at the time. Excuse me. And so then he turned around and he started playing. We needed a drummer. So he winded up getting Tommy. And then Saul started playing rhythm guitar. So we were amazed because we didn't know Saul was that musically.
Yeah, it's quite the shock, actually.
Yeah.
He taught himself. It was like, huh? What?
Right. The photographer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Amazing.
yeah. So that was the beginning. You know, that was how we wound up ultimately, you know, forming and being the founding members of SKYY, with Gerald Legbone on bass, Butch Sierra on guitar, lead guitar, Tommy McConnell on drums, and then we added Larry Greenberg on keyboards. And my goodness, we had us a band.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ta-da.
Right. Tell us about the first time you heard yourselves on air.
Oh my goodness.
I love these stories.
I was in that 79 no, not the Deuce and a Quarter.
No, you were in the Mustang.
I was in my 79 Chevy Impala. And, it came on BLS. I think it was Here's to You. It came on BLS, WBLS radio station. And my goodness, it was the biggest shock. You know, it's one of those things where you just want to roll the window down and shout out to the whole world.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, so notwithstanding this, the fact that the SKYY album, I remember when we first we had done some background vocals for this jazz musician,
Charles Erland.
Yeah. And we had done this song called Over and Over. And I was sitting in a car in Prospect Park. And when that came on the radio, I was like, whoa. But then when we started gigging with, you know, when SKYY's first album first came out, the first time I heard it, I was home. My mother calls me up and she said, you're on the radio. I'm like, Mommy, what? And
that is correct.
I was like, for real, Ma? And I turned on, I switched the channel and there we were.
Yeah.
It was like,
it was such a shock. It was
I mean, being with doing background vocals was amazing. You know what I mean? But having our own stuff on the radio was like super amazing.
Because you worked so hard. You know, we all worked so hard down in that basement, getting shocked by the microphone. You know, we worked I used to get shocked all the time. I'm surprised I can still. So, and to actually hear everybody's hard work on the radio, it takes you into a twilight, because you say to yourself, all of this that we worked for, and here we are, you know, here we are. Because there's so many good artists that never get a chance to hear themselves on the radio.
Yeah.
You know, and so
it's like, OMG, it's me.
You know, here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing. Amazing. Let's take a look down memory lane. Very briefly, we're going to, and you will share with the viewers.
Woo! I love it, Robin.
Tender, Robin. We were
Oh, I
tender.
love that. Tell us about this photo.
Oh my goodness. Well, I particularly, I'm going to talk about the one on the left with the jackets, because that was during a period of time, and the t-shirts actually.
Right?
That was during a period of time when having those satin road jackets was everything.
Everything.
That was just everything. And you just did not come into a gig unless you were totally representing, your
group
with that road jacket. And those road jackets, I'm going to tell a really quick story, became very invaluable for us. At our second big date, we had done, I think it was Madison Square Garden.
That is correct.
We weren't even in a tour bus. We were in a van, traveled to Maryland, got to the Capitol Center, and because we didn't really have our roadie game together, we had left our outfits at Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
and
yes.
The only thing that we had with us were those road jackets and our jeans and we had some real fancy boots. And so those road jackets really were the star of the show at Cap Center.
And it's a signature.
Yes.
That's right. We started a whole new trend.
They were hot because they were satin. But we were at that time, we were the opening act. So fortunately we weren't up there, didn't have to be up there that long. But that is Denise told the story. Those jackets saved us from embarrassment because we had no outfits.
And you know what, Robin? Us being so comfortable with those jackets, our jeans, and our boots.
Yes.
We were so comfortable.
We
were not intimidated. We were so happy. It's like, let's do this.
Yes.
It was one of the most comfortable shows we had ever done, ever, because we weren't worried about anything else, but just like, let's do this.
Just got out there and played music. And plus it was our first foray into being on a major stage.
Yes, because Cap Center was like everything.
That was like the biggest thing for us. Like I said, we hadn't quite graduated to tour bus level. We were still driving around in a van with the guys driving. But the outfits that we left were the ones in the other picture.
Wow.
Let's
take a look at that again.
The first, yes, those
were the ones we left.
That were supposed to go with us. But I love that signature look that was created for us by Denise Proctor Muller, who was the wife of Randy Muller. She's the person who designed those outfits. And I'm telling you, they served us so well in terms of the theme that we wanted to portray, which was that spacey kind of outer space, kind of concept. So, yeah.
Which was very popular.
Yes.
Yes, very much so in the 70s, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that influential in us becoming, coming out with that sort of style.
Well, I'm going to tell you that what did it for me was seeing you on Soul Train.
You think it did it for you?
Girl.
Robin.
Wow.
Oh, we do our research at Imagine That with Robin Richie. Okay?
I know,
we
that's
really
right.
do.
Yes.
You don't have to imagine that you're not going to do anything less.
Oh, thank you. But that was something, excuse me, it was just monumental. That and hoping that they would play a Sky song during the Soul Train.
Yeah. And you know what? I tell you, that was, I think, for us, one of the most exciting times to have made it to Soul Train. Now, the one you showed, I think, was the start of a romance. So that was like our second, it had to be our second visit.
And that was my favorite video. Of all the videos that we have ever done, the start of a romance video for me was my favorite. I mean, the Call Me video was really, really cool because that was the first video ever, and that came out, like one of the first videos ever done. But for
Right.
me, the Start of a Romance video was my favorite video that we have
And let's
ever
take a
ever
look at that
done.
album.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, here, you can see a complete change in style.
Right.
Yes.
This cover actually was styled by a very well-known stylist by the name of Angelo Ellerby. And
Mhm.
Angelo now represents Dionne Warwick. We were very fortunate.
I know who Angelo is.
I'm sorry?
I know who Angelo is.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know
Oh,
you
yeah.
do.
Stylist.
Well, Angelo styled that album first. That was
Right.
our first encounter
Really?
with him. Yes.
Yeah, and he styled, Angelo also styled that tour that we had done with before then. I mean, once he styled that album, he styled some of our outfits for the road.
Yeah.
And we started to get really polished.
First
But
time I ever had on a skirt on stage. I
yeah,
was like,
we were
what?
polished. We were really, it was so nice to get a stylist. And what I loved about Angelo is Angelo listened to what everybody wanted. And he could look at you and tell what you were going to be comfortable in, And so, like Denise said, to be on Soul Train, and that, like she said, that was like the second time we were on Soul Train. And then it was just like a snowball effect, Now we're on Merv Griffin. Now we're on Solid Gold. Now
Yes.
we're on American Bandstand.
American Bandstand.
Speaking of
There you are.
American Bandstand.
There you are. Now, Dolores, I know that at that time she was starting a family.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I was pregnant with my daughter.
Right.
And I was so mad.
You didn't
But-
make this big. Right.
But you know what? It was amazing because Dick Clark was one of the few people that recognized that was not me. And I was watching that on TV and I'm like, oh, man. The one time in my life that I get to meet Dick Clark and, oh, man. But it was okay. And my daughter at her crazy age is like the most wonderful and my favorite person ever, ever, ever.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you know what? I just want to make one point about American Bandstand. Soul Train was the best to be on. But to go on American Bandstand, because American Bandstand is what we watched when we were younger.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So to turn around after decades of being little girls, watching American Bandstand on Saturdays, watching them do that walk line, to watch all the other artists that have been on American Bandstand, and then to turn around 20 years later and to be actually on a show that you watched on TV when you were a little girl was monumental.
And Dick Clark, I want to say both Dick Clark and
Yes.
Don Cornelius, such icons
Yes.
in the industry in terms of giving visual images. And of course, radio DJs always got, a lot of credit for what they've done, as well as club DJs.
Yes.
But these gentlemen, I have to say, set a standard that it seems to have gone by the wayside. If you notice, we don't have any shows like their shows on TV now. It's just a concept that time has passed us by. You know what I mean? But that was where people came to watch and see artists live and in color before they started doing videos. Videos have sort of taken the place of that.
So speaking of that, somewhere along the line, there was a marriage between R&B and hip hop. And we know, before we discuss your anniversary, we know that this year they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So what are your thoughts in terms of the survival of music, the trends, and more importantly, how do you stay relevant and true to your significant, your standard, your sound, Sky has a very distinct signature.
Yes.
How do you do that?
I appreciate that as a thought, Robin, and as a question. I have to say that because we were our foundation was steeped in the early music icons, it sort of set a certain standard for how we wanted to present ourselves. And the kind of music, the lyrical content, the musical expertise all showed through in the music that we were able to produce and write. Um, Comparing it to the hip hop era, hip hop has gone through so many generations of style. In the beginning, it was just that telling a story about the neighborhood, and I'm going to use Curtis Blow as an example. The basketball is one of my favorite
Yes, yes,
early,
yes.
Hip hop songs, right? It was a change for us because we came along during a time when hip hop was emerging, and it displaced us in terms of our positioning in the industry. But it
Right.
grew. And therefore, now here we are at 50 years later. I would have
Yes.
never in a million years thought that genre would have expanded to because those guys started out as kids to us, and now they're all grown men.
Sure.
Right.
I want to say I've learned to respect it. I've learned to give it its proper place in musical history. Some of it is really good, and some of it is, maybe a little bit more raw, or a little bit raw for my taste. But again, music has to appeal across the board. So kudos to them for being able to continue to, proliferate and celebrate. And I just hope that some of the more, how shall I say, the more rough edged trends in hip hop music will wane.
Yeah.
The music, the drill music, and you know what I mean, the stuff that just breeds more negativity, I think, and I think it's impacted our young people in a lot of ways that we didn't have those types of influences coming up. And I think life is tough enough for young people now than to have these things constantly being repeated and repeated in there. So kudos to 50 years of hip hop. It's a recognized American music form.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. How do you operate within, in knowing that fact, how do you operate today within a culture of cancelization?
Well,
I have my own thoughts.
No, I understand.
But I'd like to hear from you, ladies.
Culture, I believe, comes from the world that we live in now wants to make more allowances for a wide spectrum of thought. And I think that you have to have a wide spectrum of thought because and not everything should be suppressed or oppressed, right? But it's like when we were growing up, we always had a moral compass in our hearts. You know what I mean? And sadly, I think today a lot of young people don't have that to kind of say, okay, that's what they're doing. That's their thing, right? But we kind of hold to this type of a standard. So the most extreme things, maybe you do want to say, let's cancel that because it's not good for society. It's not for the betterment of the human condition. You know what I mean? Let's face it. Some things are just not good, and nobody wants to be on the side of something being good or something
right.
or something being right or something being wrong. People are afraid to express, right? But they don't have a problem with you coming to the defense of somebody bullying. Do you cancel somebody because they stand up for someone that's being bullied? You see what
An
I'm saying?
upstander, yes.
So you can have your thought process, and I may or may not agree with you. But much like I like to be left to the things that are that I'm steeped in and that I believe in, and I want that respect, I'm gonna return respect.
Like Denise said, there's I hear a lot about the cancel, and it's like Denise said, it's some of this stuff. Where is the line drawn? And you constantly talk about what young people, especially, are doing, and how our young people are so influenced by things that are not being canceled. And so you wonder where the mental illness comes from. You wonder where the young men are being shot down in the street. You wonder, why are you shooting each other over a song? You know what I'm saying? So it's because everything goes. So when does everything goes? Where's the line? And you see that this is the influence of a generation that's coming up now.
Sure.
That sometimes their parents can't even reel them in.
And so when does everything stop?
Yeah, when does it
stop?
Yeah.
When is there a time where people say, okay, this has got to stop?
Right.
We have to stop this. We have to stop that. We have to look at where the line is drawn in the sand. When can we stop?
But everybody wants to, and like Denise said, everybody wants to have a voice. I don't mind you having a voice, but what is your voice? What kind of effect is your voice having on
impressionable minds?
Impressionable minds, correct.
Certainly. And not just your voice, but in some instances, your silence.
Yes. Yes, Robin, oh my goodness, that's an excellent point. Because that is the flip side. They say like there's the sin of commission and the sin of omission.
Right.
If you omit speaking up against something when you see an egregious wrong, but again, people are afraid to do it because we live in a society where people are just in such a mental state that there's no balance and there's no reasoning. People just want to do what they want to do. They want to treat people the way they want to treat people. The news is full of it every day. There was a week here last couple of weeks ago where I just said I couldn't watch the news another second. Because I said and no news, about that extensively. News, because it starts out with some terrible thing, that and it's repeated 4 and 5 times over the course of the 2 hours that the news is on. So I literally last week I said I'm not even watching the news anymore because it's too depressing, and I want to fill my spirit with really positive things. And you forget that there are positive things out here. The simplest thing, like when I take my walks, actually one of my walks with Zeus, I kind of extolled how just being outside and really having an appreciation for the sun, for the sounds of birds, for the things that the Creator placed here for us to enjoy, can help to reverse that spirit of
negativity,
violence and wickedness and evil. And that's needed. And that's why we have to reach out. I'm so happy that we're talking to you today, Robin. You know what I'm saying? Because it's these types of moments where we get to see and enjoy conversations with people who we know have a positive spirit and a positive outlook. And we just want to keep the world in the best place that we possibly can and make our contribution to that.
Absolutely. And that's why here at the Imagine That with Robin Richie podcast has always embraced you, because I know individually, but there is you have a global appeal, and your fan base knows all of what you've said is what you stand for. And so I'm going to share this with you, ladies and gentlemen, and you might not even be aware of it. So I'm going to talk about the three ladies like they're not even here.
We see you, Robin. We see you.
For a moment. The community work and the charitable causes that of which you are involved in is it is beyond appealing. It gives the background, it gives the foreground, it gives us, we know who you are beyond the stage, when you're not on the stage, and how you, and it has nothing to do with the pomp and circumstance of the fame and fortune that of which you experience, but it's who you are at your core. And that's one of the things that I love about you ladies from day one,
No. Robin,
I love that.
Thank you, Robin.
Because, listen, again, when you peel back the surface stuff, right, which is what people see on the end. I tell people, you see us on the stage, and people have an image, and we all do this, of anybody that we admire, whether they're an actor or whatever. You have this imagination of who this person is, but really, when you peel back what you do as a profession, or what you do as something that you love, you still have to come back and look yourself in the mirror. And we still have to have concerns that speak to our community and our neighborhood. Tragically, Bonnie's granddaughters go to the school where the teacher that was recently murdered.
Yes.
Was
in Jersey City.
In Jersey City, Bonnie's granddaughters went to that school, and I'm telling you that it could have just as well happened to my own personal relative. I was so affected by it, because that's part of our community, our extended community. And so I definitely posted on my Facebook page, an opportunity for people to be able to contribute to
Her family,
and hopefully the children. We did the same thing for the when the Ghana, that had that terrible fire up on 100 and something street in Harlem, where the African community was adversely affected. We have day jobs, by the way. I encouraged my office to make a contribution to help them. We do shows for the Veterans Administration. Last year, we called it our Community World Tour, actually, because we were out in Coney Island.
I remember that.
Yeah, man. We had so much fun last year.
Yes.
Doing like little community events. And they're just so rewarding, because people appreciate what we do. So when we can shine a light on that, ways to help others, it means a lot to us. It's not just about us.
Certainly. Let's talk a little bit about the 30th anniversary reunion concert of SKYY, live at the Cutting Room in New York City.
Yes. It's been a long time coming. And it's so funny, because Saul he said he was not sure if this is something that he wanted to do again. But we visit his home all the time. He and his wife always embrace us. We can go to his house anytime, when we need a break or whatever. And we would go and we'd fool around, like a couple of months ago. About a year ago, the guys came down, Cheryl and Larry, and we got down there, was jamming. But I think what really brought this to the forefront was when our former drummer last year, Tommy McConnell, passed away.
Yes.
And excuse me, and his sister called up and said one way she would have wanted to honor him was at the repast was by us doing some of the songs that he had wrote for Sky.
And those were which ones?
Let Love Shine, Start of a Romance,
Right.
and Let's Celebrate.
Yeah.
And so we got together, no rehearsal,
Our favorite tunes too.
and did a little mini, show at a tribute to him at the repast. And Saul said he got the book. Wait a minute now.
Like, whoa.
I think we have something.
This feels good.
He said it felt good.
Yeah.
That we had 30 years have passed or whatever. And for all of us to get on the stage and it gelled the way it did, he said he got the bug.
Yes.
So hence the reunion.
The grand reunion.
It's in effect on Saturday.
The ladies of Sky with the gentlemen.
Gentlemen of Sky.
One of
the entire band, surviving band, ladies and gentlemen, I sadly have to inform you that, baby, it's sold out.
You sold out?
You didn't get your ticket, oh well.
People are calling for tickets and it's sold out.
What a thrill. It's a thrilling venture for us. When Austin decided that, and Solomon said, yes, I'm all in to do this. Kudos to Austin Kwame Wilkinson, who had this as a brainstorm idea and has wanted to do this for quite some time. Yes. But we're just really, really excited that we've been embraced by our fans.
Right.
In the local New York area. And we've got some people coming from Philly and
yeah.
We have
people coming from all over.
Parts south, yeah.
And we got people coming from all over. And it's just really heartwarming, like Denise said, that everybody was saying we couldn't wait for this. Yes. We couldn't wait for this. And Solomon has gone and whip those guys into, as he said, into shape, because they rehearsed and then we go down and rehearse, and then they rehearse and then we come down and rehearse. And I am telling you, people are going to be pleasantly and utterly over the moon, as they say.
Shout out to the two members that have stepped in one in place of Tommy, Peter Paris, who's become our big baby brother. Part of the thing that must happen if you're going to be a member of Sky is we got to really like you, and you got to fall into the mood and the moment of everybody's spirit. And so he has done just that. And we also want to shout out to Mark Bowers, who is going to be doing lead guitar work. And special alert, flash, Butch Sierra will be in the house.
Marvelous.
Yes, he will be there. So
marvelous.
Yeah, so 7/8 of the band will be in the building.
Yeah.
And let's mention their names again so everyone will know who Butch is going to be there.
Butch Sierra,
Larry will
guitar
be
player,
there.
Larry Greenberg, our first keyboard player. Gerald LeBone, bass player. Of course, Solomon Roberts, head cloud, co-producer, a writer of every great ballad, that we've ever sang. And then, of course, me, Bonnie, and my sister Dolores. Did I leave anybody out? That's it.
No.
And Peter.
No, you did. And this is really something, Robin. Our original sound, Ronald.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Our original manager.
Yes, our original sound.
Forget about Ronald. Listen, talk about putting up with a lot of nonsense. He was our road manager.
Sound guy.
Oh my goodness. So it's really like, I don't know. it's like being
It's a
it's like
reunion.
being little kids again and playing
Yeah.
with your friends in the playpen. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because these are all our original people. So
Playpen, sound, the sandbox, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. You know, I'd like to share with you some of the comments that I see, because there definitely are comments
Oh.
that are up. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are live watching us live, I am going to just share them on screen. I've screened them as I've been listening to you.
Oh, nice.
We have Asa.
Asa!
Asa loves Tyler.
Yeah, PR director extraordinaire.
Yes, 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 yes. How lovely.
Yes, yes, she is fabulous, and I'm telling you, she'll never be rid of us. I'm going to tell you.
And I'm sure she doesn't want to be.
She better not. Well,
I'm sure she wants you forever.
Asa is a woman of many talents. We met Asa. She was singing background vocals for Freddie Jackson. So she's a woman of many, many talents, and not the least.
And like Denise said, Asa, and we are so fortunate that we have a premier team behind us.
Yes.
If it wasn't for Asa, Ophelia, Pat, Dre, KP Lycan Media, I could just Bertha Brooks. I could go on and on and on with the people that have started out as a team for Ladies of SKYY and now have crossed over to a team for SKYY. We would not give up these people for the world, because they have kept these wheels turning as well.
That's magnificent. We have a few other comments. Louise Battle. Louise says, great and precious memories. These are fans from around the world who are watching.
Thank you. That's amazing. Hello, Michael Stallworth.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you,
Louise
sir.
had another comment for you. She says you were all gorgeous on the cover.
Oh, thank you.
Gorgeous.
We've got a style team. Oh my goodness. Dwayne Gazai White and Rajeen Gazai White, who styled the last two covers, and most of the pictures that you see on our website were all styled by them. Yes. So it takes a team from front to back, left to right.
Absolutely. Michael has another comment.
Oh,
where he
my
says
goodness.
He was just listening to because of
you. Well, you know what? That's one of my favorites too, actually.
Yeah, it's mine too.
Great song. Oh my goodness.
I'm not aware of there's so many really good B cuts
Yeah.
on our albums. And back in the day when you'd get an album, right? What did you do, Michael? You started on the first one, side A, and you went all the way through, then you flipped it over, side B. Now with streaming, you just get your one. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you for that, Michael. Thank you.
So very sweet. Here's another one. Libby
Cabello. Oh, now see, that's a little saucy.
That's a singing chick there.
Oh, baby. Woo, we love us some Libby Cabello.
Amazing. That's right.
Yeah, that's a singing chick for real.
Yes. Thank you, Libby. We love you.
And before I bring my associate producer, who very rarely makes an appearance, like behind the scenes, and you've met April before. I'm going to take one more comment. Someone who's in, we have so many. Someone, Louise Battle, she says, 3 sheroes at their finest.
Thank you.
Listen to your song First Time Around.
Woo!
Thank you, ladies, for sharing your gifts and talents.
Thank you, Louise. You took it back to the beginning, my dear.
Yes, he did.
Literally, the first song that we ever released was First Time Around.
First Time Around.
Yes. Back in the disco era. We were just on the edge of the disco time period. So thank you for that, Louise.
And Dolores, didn't you take the lead on that one, darling?
Yes, I did.
Okay, now.
Yes, I did.
Fabulous. And
Fun,
for
fun,
those of you
fun.
who might not have known, take a gander at that face, okay? That beautiful face. She is the one who sang the lead on the first time around.
All right now.
Whisper. And Robin
Yeah.
got the whisper.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
sweet. She did it. She did it. Listen, if we would have sang it like that, the first take, we wouldn't have been in there for like 2.5 hours
Hours.
recording it. You had the perfect-
Hours.
Randy was trying to get that out of us for like 3 days. And then finally, Robin just came.
Wow. That is something. Oh, here's Darnetta Leak. This is a wonderful interview. They are wonderful guests.
Thank you,
Darnetta, let me tell you.
Mwah.
I tell you, I love these ladies on stage, off. They're so unpretentious. And for those of you, and once again, people who are viewing this from all around the world, let them know that you are originally from
Brooklyn.
Baby. Born and raised, do or die Bed-Stuy, right?
That's right.
No, Brooklyn.
Fabulous.
We love Brooklyn, man. I mean, that, I still love it to this day, even though it's changed, quite a bit from the time when we grew up there. But, our roots are there. Imagine our parents were of Southern background, right? And so my grandmother came from South Carolina and was the first one to come up to Brooklyn. And then my parents, followed, and and there we were born and raised in Brooklyn, and I mean that was just a rich place in terms of everything that has made us who we are.
Yes.
So who we are is a direct result of being raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Oh, we have someone from Virginia Beach joining us,
Ooh.
Ronnie Grooms.
Yeah.
He says, "Thank you, legends, for being the trendsetters for so many."
Wow.
Thank you,
Lovely
Ronnie.
comment.
Thank you.
Lovely comment.
We love Virginia Beach too now, don't we?
Yes, we do.
That's a place to go.
Yeah.
And that is what is so special about having you appear on the Imagine That with Robin Richie podcast, because we honor trailblazers, influencers, and icons. And you are all of those things. And this is now that is one thing that I would love to see. I would love to see a greater appreciation today for those of whom these modern artists stand upon their shoulders. Okay. You've paved the way. You are the ones who broke the barriers. Again, I'm a Sugar Hill, Harlem girl. Okay.
My husband's from Harlem.
We'll take that.
I'm originally from Sugar Hill, Harlem. And on a Saturday morning in the building, everyone had the same station on. Everyone had the same channel on. And so if you were playing in my apartment, you were playing all throughout the building. You were playing in the building across the street. You were playing all the way down to Broadway. You were playing all the way on Convent Avenue. You were, I mean, that's really what it was. And we have Helena Crump. Helena Crump said, "Brooklyn in the house."
Right.
Another one of the team members.
Yes.
Yeah, a team member.
Yes,
He
man.
has been with us since we came out as Ladies of Sky. I have to give her, Helena Crump,
And Vera.
kudos, and Vera Foster, because they have supported us through our time as Ladies of Sky and now crossing over right into Sky. We love them dearly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Oh,
This
yeah.
gentleman, Gerald Timberlake, he's a magnificent artist. He happens to be a personal friend of mine. And Gerald, he's saying, "Yay, Brooklyn."
Yeah. Hi, Gerald. Thank you so much. Thank you,
He's
baby.
a magnificent artist.
I
And
can't wait
thank
to
you,
meet him.
Gerald, for joining us. I'm so glad that you were able to do that and to avail yourselves. And Helena responded to your beautiful comment, which is lifetime love.
That's for sure. That's family right there, And I think that's another contributor to our longevity. Even when we were out on the road, we were given a lot of compliments by other groups, especially groups where they may have had other female, artists, and they used to say, "Oh my goodness, how nice it must be to be just traveling, with your sisters." Hi, April.
And there is the beautiful April Abraham.
Hello.
The Imagine That with Robin Richie,
Girl,
associate producer.
I am good. I am wonderful, and I'm even better looking at you, beautiful ladies. I was sitting here, I'm working, and I said I had to jump on. Robin already knows I am a Ladies of Sky groupie. When we yes, and I told you ladies as well when I saw you at the last event. Robin understands. I used to take her with me all the time. I would be like, they're gonna be here, Robin. Let's go. Get ready. And we would be going, putting on our stuff, and we'd be down there, and I'd be doing my dance and everything. And I was just telling her today that, you guys will always just be renowned as far as I'm concerned. You guys will always be celebrated. Your music will always be celebrated. Your music is endless. It's something, it's something that's just, to me, you guys are just always will be the top of the pile for me. Your records, CDs, Pandora. I have a Ladies of Sky station. I just keep you guys, I sing, don't let oh my goodness, romance come on, call me. My slow jam comes on. My boyfriend be like, there she go again. I can't sing.
And wait, I've had this Sky Zoo for almost 2 decades.
That's right.
That's right.
It's an official.
Say it again.
Official Sky Zoo. Ladies.
That's the metal one.
Yes.
And so for those of you, and I'm suspecting I'm probably the only one because I didn't share anything about, bring a Sky Zoo with you. So I said, and they had to instruct me, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of how to do it. Yes. So that I had to have it together. You already know that, okay? Because I can't have an official Sky Zoo and not be able to play it. Yes. So can I hit just a little bit of something on here?
Robin, come on,
baby.
girl.
Do you?
Okay.
She got her own solo going on. I love it.
You know what? We gotta take some lessons from you, Madam Queen.
Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me? She added a couple more extra notes in there.
Girl.
That's a remix. That's a Sky Zoo remix. We wound it down where it sounded like, she's run out of gas. And then we got to
Oh, Robin, that was delightful. I am telling you.
I love it.
I'm telling you. She learned well, Bonnie. We don't have to do too much
No, I'm not trying to embarrass you or myself. First of all, I play this when I'm in the audience. I'm in the audience and act like, unless I'm in with press, but I blend in with the audience. You would never know. They don't know who I am. They don't know who's standing beside. So I'm
do it, girl. Do it. I think we'll call her up as a soloist on Saturday.
No, don't be surprised, Robin.
You're the professionals with that. But as we come upon the close of this, I would love for you to share with us the honor that was bestowed upon you by South Soul Records.
Yes. Well, we are very, very happy to announce that BMG, which now owns the South Soul Records collection of music, decided that they were going to re-release our album Skyline on purple vinyl. And I am so proud to say
that
we are among our illustrious former label mates.
Yes.
Your listeners will certainly know, which includes Double Exposure, 10% of Love. Yeah. Joe Bataan, who is known as one of the founders of South Soul Records and a person that we grew up loving as young people and very much influenced by him, and Instant Funk. I got my mind made up.
Yep.
Girl, right? Yeah. So those three artists were all released in 2022, and we are happy to be the kickoff group for the 2023 Disco Essentials re-release of the South Soul Records collection. And as you can see, South Soul, as everybody knows, was mostly known for their, disco music, in particular club music. And we're proud to say we were the last artist to sign with them and the last artist to fall off the label when they decided to go out of the business. But they also had the amazing Lolita Holloway.
The first choice. First choice.
Was on
Carol. Carol is another one.
Carol, yes, Carol Williams.
Yes, Carol Williams.
She's the queen of South Soul. I mean, by all means, Denise Montana. We come behind a number of really, really amazing
great
artists on that label. So I'm very grateful for BMG for taking a second listen to the music in the catalog and introducing to a whole new generation of listeners the South Soul era of music.
It's interesting. There are so many people. I tell you that there are so many comments that I can barely keep up with. Ronnie is like, yes, the Instant Funk mention. Okay.
That's right.
Michael listed practically everyone. First choice, Instant Funk, Lolita Holloway, bless her soul. Double Exposure. Libby says that the South Soul Christmas Orchestra, that's the best
album.
She just loves that. That's her favorite. I
South
do too.
Orchestra, Libby. Like major in terms of, musical arrangement and composition, unmatched during their time.
Yes. Gerald, who's on the line, he said, congratulations to you ladies. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic news. Now, Man Ray Francois said,
Monray.
Yes.
Francois says, play that. I don't know what you want to be played, but I'm sure you don't want me to play it with.
Yep.
I swear. He's
friend of ours too.
Another one that's always with us, always around.
Always supports.
Supports. And I'm telling you, that Monray keeps you laughing.
Monray has.
See, I know he has his official Sky Zoo.
Oh, yeah. He's had his for a minute.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Michael, he says, when you touch me, it's one of his favorites.
Yeah.
And just on and on. It is fantastic. And yes, Asa, Robin is ready. Yes, she is. I will be ready. I'll tell you, I was ready for it tonight, and I certainly will be ready for Saturday. Okay. It's going to be fantastic. Your energy is always electric anyway. So what would you say? What are we going to see Saturday? What are we going to hear?
Everything.
It's what you're going to say. That's what you're going to see. I am telling you, you're going to see 40 years of friendship come together on that stage. You're going to see 40 years of hard work that has gotten us to where we are today. And you are going to see 40 years of blowing the roof of the cutting room.
And I love the
And
cutting room.
The purpose of the event and the evening is for you to get transported back to a time and a space and a place where music was at the center of your life. You know what I mean? And everyone in that room, we're so excited to get that group of people together in that one room, because everybody in there knows us through some pathway in our lives, whether they know us personally or whether they just know us because of the music. So we want everybody in there to feel like you just there with your family. You know what I mean? When you look to your left and your right, you're going to be surrounded by people that not only love us, but that have a general love for people in general. And let's just have that spirit throughout the night. That's what I want.
And it's going to be a time where, I mean, even with us rehearsing this past weekend, it was a point at which we remembered where we were in 1982 and 1983, and being on the road with these guys and even the new guys that have come in. It's a place in your heart and in your spirit. When we were like dancing and feeling it, it was like, wow, yeah, this is
It's going to be something.
Yeah,
it's going to be something.
We felt like, yeah, okay, yeah.
As Don Cornelius would say, it's going to be a humdinger.
Humdinger.
A humdinger. Listen, we're going to bring it. That's all I got to say. We're bringing it.
That's right.
And again, what people may not realize is that we're just as excited to be on that stage with our brothers as people will be excited to see us. You know what I mean? This is like we're beside ourselves with joy. And you're going to be a little surprised. Woo!
Do it again, DC. Do it again.
I like that.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. I love
lots
that.
of surprises for you guys when you come in there. Okay, get there early. Get your seat. Okay,
doors open at
it doesn't matter where you sit. We're going to reach out and touch every single person in that room that night. So just get there. Be there or be square, as we used to say back in the old days. Okay.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who were unable to obtain tickets, because once again, it is sold O-U-T. Out. But there will be, including myself, we will be going live periodically, capturing snippets, audience reaction.
Robin's gonna be in the house, baby.
Oh, imagine that with Robin Richie shall be there.
That's
and
right.
It's going to be just marvelous. Like a family reunion, actually.
Yes.
Very much so.
Really and truly. Really and truly. Each one of you ladies, can you give our viewers a few final words?
Well, I just want to say I am so grateful and thankful for not only the people that will be in the audience on Saturday night, but I'm so grateful and so thankful for the people who came on and gave us such lovely comments. And I am so thankful for those who have kept Sky alive. And that includes our fans, our DJs, our radio personalities, people such as Robin. We are overwhelmed, and we have such gratitude that you keep us alive.
Thank you. Lovely, lovely.
Say to everyone, thank you so much. And Zeus wants to say hi too. Say hi, Zeusy.
Hi, Zeus, darling. How are you?
I just want to say that I am so appreciative of all of the people who have supported us throughout this journey, both as Ladies of Sky and even the more so as Sky. And we want to let you know that this will not be the last performance. This took off so quickly and was embraced by so many people that we have to figure out a way to do this again really, really soon. So be in anticipation of more to come. That's it.
Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous.
Well, for me, it's like, oh, my sister just basically said it all. So I'm looking forward to everybody coming out on Saturday night so we can show up and show out.
Fabulous. Fabulous. The comments are still coming. I want to say to the viewing audience, but before I do, I want to thank you ladies, because we've actually gone beyond the time that we had originally anticipated. And but I wanted to share some of the comments with you, and I apologize to those of you whose comments I did not have an opportunity to share, but I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of the globe and yes, exactly, the globe. And my Imagine That with Robin Richie supporters and viewers. And you ladies do know that we are also celebrating the 25th season of Imagine That with Robin Richie.
Yes. You just keep it going, Robin. You keep it going. I don't know whether you remember, Robin, but you were one of our first MCs, hosts, when we did our first show here in Newark, New Jersey at the Key Club. We called upon you, my darling, to come and be, you know what I'm saying, the announcer extraordinaire for that event. And we certainly support you as the classy lady. Like I said, the class is always your elegance, your, everything about you exudes class and elegance. And we just love you for that. We want you to be you always. Okay. We got your back.
Thank you so.
And you too, Miss April. It's good to see you, girl.
I'm always the quiet one, but yes, I am here. I am here for it. And I always will be here for it. And I thank my sister for just, as you stated, producing just 25 years of just fabulous, bringing back to the forefront all those who need to be and continue to be at the forefront. You ladies are like, this is just so awesome.
Thank you.
I know this is I'm telling you, when I tell you, I don't say that loosely. I was a Ladies of Sky groupie. I would get dressed. My grandmother would be like, where y'all going? Ladies of Sky gonna be across the way. We get on train. Where y'all going? We going down there because Ladies of Sky gonna be at Madison Square Garden. we got tickets. Yeah. So I'm just excited.
I shared with you ladies very briefly. The first time I ever saw you perform, I was 15 years of age, and you were opening for Kool and the Gang at Radio City Music Hall.
Right.
And I went with a classmate whose name I shall not say, and I doubt she's logged on, but I will tell you that, and first of all, I'm a dancer and I'm a choreographer, and I've been doing that since I was knee high to a doorknob. And I had the whole section rocking, okay, because you were rocking. And I remember glancing at my classmate who was sitting there like somewhat appalled, right? Like, why
you let it go? You let it go, Robin.
I had the whole section rocking, okay, that whole section. And I never knew that 20 years later, we would be connected in such a wonderful and meaningful way. So it's always an honor to have you at the Imagine That with Robin Richie podcast platform. And we began originally, ladies and gentlemen, with television, local programming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I remember it well.
Yes. And just continued success. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have logged online and shared this evening, this very, very special evening, as we've gotten to, we've had an opportunity to take a closer look at the Ladies of SKYY and hear a little bit of the backstory. And it's just been stupendous.
Thank you,
And so
Robin.
I-
We
Thank you,
really
Robin.
appreciate you,
Thank
guys.
you for having us,
you.
Robin.
Saturday.
You and
Saturday.
say bye one more time, and I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. We'll say it. We'll say it once again. Where you're going to be at?
So we'll be at the Cutting Room, New York City. It's on 32nd Street off of Park Avenue, one of the premier music venues in New York City. I have to say that years ago, we tried to get into that venue because of the way that it's set up, but it's perfect for live music, you know, and the type of music that we do. So we're looking forward. Once again, we've already set a record in terms of, you know, being able to sell out an R&B act in that venue, even though they show a wide variety of music.
Right.
In fact, after us, it's the dueling pianos. So if you didn't get a chance, if you didn't get tickets for our show, you can go see.
And how do we reach out to you? How do the listeners and viewers? How do they reach you?
Okay, so, oh boy, I'm supposed to remember all of this. Start out on our website, www.ladiesofsky.com. We are on Facebook as Ladies of Sky. We are on Instagram, the official Ladies of Sky. And of course, you can always reach us through Mr. Austin Kwame Wilkinson at 347-645-1061. So for all of you out there that want to reach out and you know, get a little up close and personal with the Ladies of Sky, contact Mr. Austin Kwame Wilkinson. And for all of you promoters out there, you're going to want to book Sky. I'm telling you right now, after this show Saturday, we're going to be a hot commodity. So do reach out to Austin.
Absolutely fantastic. Once again, thank you, Ladies of Sky. Thank you, Madam Associate Producer of Imagine That with Robin Richie.
Love you.
My darling, I thank you and I love you. I love all of you and viewers. Thank you. Thank you for your support, your continued support, your encouragement online, the messages you send to me. It helps to fuel all of this. And it's so appreciated. And you know, I always send you guys prayer hands. It's very heartfelt, your support. So thank you once again. And we'll see you until the next time. Thank you for joining Imagine That with Robin Richie, the podcast.
Good night, Robin. Good night, April.
Good night. Good night, beautiful ladies.
Good night, all the listeners, and thanks for the comments. We love you all. Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
Here's to you, just for you. Here's to you, this song's for you.
Couple of things I need to address with you.